It's me. I'm here. I've arrived. I have finally arrived. It's me. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing today? On this fine Saturday afternoon. Just gonna wait. Just gonna wait for a little tiny bit longer. Just a little tiny teeny tiny bit longer. Just for fun. We waiting. We waiting just a teeny tiny bit. Just a few more minutes, and then we can commence waffling. Stayed up all night and still don't feel tired. Wonderful. We love having no sleep. We love having no sleep here on the Cosmic Star channel. We love having no sleep here on the Cosmic Star channel. That's what we're all about. That's what we're all about here on the Cosmic Star channel. On the Cosmic Star channel. You know what else we're all about here on the Cosmic Star channel? Liking and subscribing, which is what you should do currently. That is exactly what you should be doing. Liking and subscribing on the Cosmic Star channel. Like and subscribe. Subscribe and like. Will I be happy? Maybe. Who's to say? Like and subscribe. Subscribe and like. Anyways, today we're doing the fabled, the long awaited by like 2 weeks, the UCM stream. I'm gonna be waffling. I'm gonna be very annoying today. I'm gonna be waffling, rambling, another word for talking for an extended period of time. All of it. It's gonna be wonderful. Just gonna wait for a few more minutes to see if more people come in. Currently waffling. Now waffling UCN. I made a whole presentation, a whole PowerPoint presentation. It's pretty thorough, if I do say so myself. I spent like 3 hours on it on Monday and then didn't touch it again. So hopefully it covers all the bases. I made it like a day or two after the Into the Pit stream. When did I stream that? Did I stream it on? When did I stream that? I don't know. Anyways. We're gonna be waffling. Waffling, rambling. Another word for talking for an extended amount of time about a specific subject. Copious amounts of waffling. I feel like I've waffled about waffling far too long. We should really get into the meat and potatoes of the stream. Get into the content, the juicy content. The wonderful content. Cuz that's why we're here. The wonderful content bestowed on the Cosmic Star channel, to which you should like and subscribe. You should in fact like and subscribe. I believe. Like and subscribe. Subscribe and like. Like and subscribe. 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 Anyways. Let's get into it. Let's get into the fabled UCN stream. Because I've been waffling for about 10 minutes now. You guys know how much I enjoy waiting. Waiting for views. Waiting for wonderful views. That's just what we do here on the Cosmic Star channel. That's just how it is on the Cosmic Star channel. We be waiting for views and likes and subscribes. How'd I be here if we weren't subscribed? I don't know. Maybe you're just an avid UCN enjoyer, and you saw this stream and you were like, "Whoa, I love UCN. I wonder what this guy's waffling about. I love UCN." Maybe that's like your favorite FNAF game, and you were just like, "Whoa, I love UCN. What's this guy waffling about?" That's one idea. Anyway. Anyways, UCN Ultimate Custom Night. The most ultimate of the custom nights. Me when the night is ultimate. I made this silly presentation, silly PowerPoint presentation. However, before we start, disclaimer. Does this work? Yes, indeed it does. Okay, wonderful. Disclaimer. This stuff is my opinion. And in no way is it meant to attack anyone. In no way is it meant to what are the words? This is just my opinion, and in no way is it supposed to speak against any other people's opinion. You know what I'm saying. This is just my opinion, my thoughts and theories on this silly ultimate game, ultimate night, ultimate custom night, if you will. So this is just my opinion, just my thoughts and theories on like the my thoughts and theories on other thoughts and theories, but in no way is it supposed to discredit other people's opinions or anything like that. It's just my own silly little thoughts in my silly little head. Another thing, audience participation. I would very much enjoy that. I would very much enjoy audience participation. If there's any thoughts or comments or anything that you guys have on the theories that I'm talking about or whatever, I would very much appreciate it if you guys, said your part, said your opinions, because that's why I like streaming. I like getting everyone's thoughts and opinions and hearing about everything. So I would very much appreciate that if, while we're going on, y'all could chime in a bit, and I will try to answer and talk about it. Talk about what you guys mentioned as best I can. There is a slight stream delay. So if I'm kind of bad with it, I apologize. But I will try my best But yes, I would very much enjoy audience participation. That would be wonderful. Anyways, let's get into the quote unquote glossary, if you will. So here's all the points we're going to be talking about. First, Toy Chica high school years. I'm doing that first because one, there's not really any other place that it would really fit, and two, it's kind of just something I want to get out of the way. It's not really going to be a big subject. If anything, it's going to be the opposite. Just something to get out of the way. Like another small disclaimer. And then we're going to be talking about The Man in Room 1280, the story, details, blah, blah, blah. Same with UCN. Not really a whole lot of theorizing for the next two. Just kind of like talking about what the story and game, what the story is about, what the game is about, and stuff like that. Details and stuff. Then we're going to talk about Andrew and Cassidy, and then we're going to have a little looking back section where I kind of just summarize everything, and then we're going to have our conclusion. So yeah, again, if anyone has any thoughts or opinions, anything for whatever we discuss, I would very much appreciate it if y'all chimed in, gave your thoughts, gave your opinions, etc. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry, I just had to check something. I had to check something real quick. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, guys. Welcome to today's video. Let's get into it. First, we have Toy Chica high school years. So basically, within UCN, silly cutscenes where it's Toy Chica in the role of basically a yandere anime high school girl, and throughout multiple cutscenes, she is shown having a crush on a boy, wanting to date them, and then proceeds to kill them after it doesn't work out. And that happens about I think there's like eight cutscenes. I think there's about 8 cutscenes, and yeah, basically that's the gist of it. Toy Chica in the role of a yandere high school anime girl, killing people she has a crush on. Basically just normal parody stuff, like most of the other cutscenes kind of are, like with the Bear of Vengeance type thing. These are really just like parody type things. However, people have said that it is supposed to be a quote unquote parallel, a thematic parallel to William Afton and the missing children's incident, with William luring in his victims and then proceeding to kill them. And that is kind of why we're talking about this, because in the my brain not working. In the cutscenes, there are about, I believe, 7. I think there's about 7 victims within the cutscenes, and a lot of people have said that, oh, this probably means there are more missing children's incident kids or more victims of William Afton, if Toy Chica is indeed a thematic parallel to William Afton. And so yeah, there's 7 victims. I believe it is Classic Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Pig Patch, Marionette, the wolf from Twisted Ones. I don't know why. I think Mangle. And Foxy's hook is also shown in the in Toy Chica's bag. So in total, there's Mangle, Classic Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Puppet, Pig Patch, Wolf, Foxy. So like I think that was it, right? Toy Bonnie, Freddy, Puppet, Mangle, Pig Patch, Wolf, and Foxy. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, seven victims, 7 victims. And most people think is a thematic parallel to the MCI. And some of this also comes from the content within the cutscenes. For instance, one of the dialogues is Toy Chica trying to lure one of the classmates by saying a fun time Foxy, not Mangle. I thought it was Mangle because their eye was like hanging out. The thing that was hanging out was like their eye. I don't know. Same thing. Either or. They look the same. So I don't know. I'm gonna look up the little thingies. The cutscene. So I know exactly what it says. Okay, so yeah, it was the so the very first cutscene is with Freddy. I believe Freddy. Yeah. It's with Freddy, and Toy Chica says she'll lure him in by saying she needs help with her homework. Second cutscene is luring whoever it is with saying that she ran over their dog. Third cutscene is luring the dude in by saying her house was on fire. Fourth cutscene was Toy Chica saying that she has several live hostages. Fifth cutscene, basically just kidnapping. And then sixth cutscene is just another kidnapping, then gaslighting that she wasn't the one who kidnapped. Or wait, no, maybe the fifth one. Fifth one was just breaking and entering, kind of. Yeah. So yeah, all that, and a lot of people have said that the cutscene where she hits whoever's dog with a car, that's supposed to be like a parallel to Susie, because you know her dog was dead in the Fruity Maze minigame, and that's how William lured Susie and then eventually killed her. And yeah. So yeah, methods. I'm just skipping through the slides, honestly. So yeah, already. So you know, there's already that. There's multiple different types of characters, multiple different motives, yada yada yada, and a lot of people have said that a lot of these kind of correlate to the missing children's incident. Personally, I don't believe that. I think a lot of it is kind of silly, pretty contradictory, and just in general, just like it doesn't really make sense in general. First thing, the methods used are very while they are luring, they're not really something I think William would do. Like if they're supposed to be exact, like the supposed running over a dog one, I don't think it would be like, oh hey, I'm a grown man. Could you help me with my homework? Or like, hey, could you? My house is on fire. Could you help me with that? Like some of these could work, I guess. Mainly just the dog one, I feel. But even then, uh, for like the whole Susie thing, William didn't say, "Oh, I ran over your dog. Sorry about that." He was like, "Hey, your dog is still alive. Come with me." But like, I guess it could be implied that William did kill the dog, and that's how he knew. Or like, I don't know, Susie's negative emotions manipulated the Fruity Maze minigame, and then dead dogs started appearing, which would be messed up. But like, a lot of these, the only really exact one that would work would be the dog one. Other ones are just like either kidnapping or just something that wouldn't really fit, because like this is the whole point of the missing children's incident is that William lured the children in and then proceeded to kill them. Not like kidnapping, not yeah, like two of these are instances of basically kidnapping or like breaking and entering, like kidnapping and then breaking into somebody's home. Two of those William definitely doesn't do. And then one of them was like talking about taking several live hostages, which maybe that happened. I don't know. But still, none of these really correlate that well to the missing children's incident kids, except for the dead dog one. And like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it a little too much. But a lot of these are kind of like, okay, like because they're supposed to be. The children are supposed to be lured, right? They're not supposed to be like kidnapped or anything like that. I don't think that was really a thing that happened, unless like the nightmare chamber for FNAF 4. So yeah, most of the cutscenes, they're either with they're most of them are just like don't really correlate to how William actually did lure the children, because like most of these are just kidnapping, or like not most, but like a good half, a good chunk of these are just straight out kidnapping. And another thing is the characters that appear. So again, Toy Chica, Freddy Fazbear, Wolf, Toy Bonnie, Funtime Foxy, Puppet, and then Pig Patch, and then Foxy is like his hook is peeking out of one of the bags. So there was like he was there, but he was like a previous one, I guess. Um, so already there's kind of wonky stuff because the one that goes with like, oh, I ran over his dog, I believe it was with the wolf. I believe that one was with the wolf. And I believe yeah, I think it was with the wolf. So like if that was supposed to represent Chica, why not just have another Chica be there? Like I know it might be confusing, maybe, but like if these are supposed to be thematic parallels with the MCI children, why not have like the actual characters that represent the MCI children, correlate to the actual stories? Because things like Freddy Fazbear, and then Puppet, they're both there. Those are both like characters who canonically have very important important lore, important characters with them. And however, the puppets the thing that Toy Chica does with the puppet is that Toy Chica tells him to come over later, If he doesn't show up, she'll break into his house or set it on fire and wait for them to run out. Which, like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen with Charlotte. That doesn't happen with the puppet. That's not a thing that happens. That doesn't happen at all. All William does is like see her outside of one of the pizzerias and then proceed to kill her. So like already, like, how come, like, if these are supposed to represent the MCI children and possibly Charlotte and possibly someone else, why not have the actual characters that represent those specific, or why not have the characters that represent the spirits? Why not have them actually like correlate to the I lost my train of thought. Dang it! Why not have the characters that represent the spirits? Why not have them actually correlate to what actually happened with how they die? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, the dead dog thing, it happens with the wolf, not a actual like chicken animatronic. The puppet story, it doesn't happen with you know, like something that actually happens to Charlotte. You know, she's killed outside of a pizzeria. William doesn't like go and set her house on fire or break into her house and then kill her, or like nothing like that. And then, you know, there's like the random characters like Pig Patch and then the wolf. Like, those have no actual lore significance. In fact, the wolf doesn't even appear in any game. It's a completely separate continuity. It's from the Twisted Ones. And then yeah, and then the very first cutscene is with Freddy, where Toy Chica says she needs help with her homework, which doesn't really make sense because, you know, again, like, unless a child actually believes that this gigantic mascot bunny needs help with their homework, I guess that could work. Maybe, I don't know. So what's the purpose? So what purpose would the cutscene serve? Poking fun at fanfics. I kind of believe that, honestly. Like, I could, like, I mean, it's literally just Toy Chica being a yandere. I think it sounds like a parody to me. It sounds like it's poking fun at something. Like, I don't know about you, but this is like just screams parody. Like, I don't know about you, but that's like, this just looks pretty parody to me. I don't know. Imagine going to school and someone tells you that they ran over their dog. For real. Imagine going to school, somebody tells you that they ran over your dog, and then they proceed to flirt with you. Hey, I ran over your dog. Do you want to come over later? But yeah, that's why I don't believe it. That's why I don't think that's why I don't think the Toy Chica high school years really means anything, because again, it's all just like there are some tiny little connecting pieces, but like most of it, most of it's kind of wonky. Like, none of it's like, or like there's two instances where no one's actually lured. Those two instances don't really match up with what we already know, like especially with the puppet, and, you know, the puppet and Freddy, who are two major lore characters possessed by two spirits who are, why am I repeating myself? Goodness. Puppet and Freddy, two major lore characters, but they have nothing, but their little stories in high school years don't really match to what we already know about them. Like, for FNAF Help Wanted, if you wanted to say that that is supposed to represent Gabriel and how he was lured, like by like going through the pizzeria and like being lured with cake kind of into the back room where William eventually killed him. That doesn't really scream homework to me. I don't know about you. And then, like the whole thing with Charlotte. Like, she doesn't die through like a home invasion. She doesn't die through her house being burnt down. She's just standing outside of Freddy's trying to get back in, and then William kills her. And then, yeah, like none of this really adds up. Like, there are tiny little threads that can connect back, but not really enough for it to be like an actual parallel. Like, to me, is obviously just like a parody of something, just like in general a parody, just poking fun at the fandom, poking fun at how the fandom depicts Toy Chica, most likely. But yeah. Anyways, I've been waffling about Toy Chica high school years. Uh, that's basically my general gripes with it. I just wanted to get Toy Chica high school years out of the way because there are some people saying that, oh, it just shows that like, it does show something. It shows that there's more MCI victims. It shows that William did kill more people. And like, I do believe that William did in fact kill more people. Like, that's a given. Because there's the whole thing with the possibility of the 5 extra kids from FNAF 2, the dead children's incident, where they possibly possess the toy animatronics. So, like, that would already bump up William's kill count. And then there's the whole thing with Dittophobia, with, like, I don't know, I would count that as him, killing someone, maybe indirectly, because they were test subjects, but, like, kidnapping, and then I doubt that, like, a majority of them survived. But there's that. There's the whole thing with like the Nightmare Chamber from Dittophobia. There's the FNAF 1 MCI, the FNAF 2 DCI, Missing Children's Incident, Dead Children's Incident. There's Charlotte, and that might not even be it. There could be like a whole bunch of other kids, but either way, it wouldn't really total up to 7 unless you specifically look at Charlie, the 5 Missing Children's Incident kids, and then Andrew, which is like that's the main thing, that like Toy Chica high school years is supposed to be evidence that Andrew was part of the MCI, which also doesn't really make sense. Like, I do believe Andrew is another victim of William Afton. However, I don't think he's part of the MCI. Mainly because the Into the Pit game is seemingly going back and saying that there were only 5 kids in the MCI. Not to mention, Puppet has never really been shown to be a part of the MCI, just associated with those characters. So, like, I could see it being like, oh yeah, evidence that there's more spirits that William killed. However, that's obviously a given. He's characterized as a serial killer multiple times. So, I feel like that's pretty obvious that he has killed more people. But I don't really think Toy Chica high school years really says something substantial. I don't think it says anything important. It's definitely just a parody. At least that's how I see it. Anyways, let's get into the actual stuff. The Man in Room 1280. Yippee! Yeah, we're actually getting into the actual stuff. Yippee! Man in Room 1280 story. So, basically how the Man in Room 1280 goes is that there's a hospital called Hercules Hospital where a priest visits the sick and dying, and eventually he visits a man who basically just looks like a very charred skeleton who has been on life support for a very long time, a couple of years apparently, and he literally just won't die. They pulled the plug a little while ago, and he still won't die. Some nurses have said that brain scans show that there are 2 things kind of fighting for control of the man's mind. And the priest who's visiting believes that the man needs help. So the priest kind of stays with him while very weird things are happening with the hospital. There's reports of a ghostly figure roaming around and disappearing, a ghostly figure of a child wearing an alligator mask. And occasionally the spirit harms the nurses who try to kill the charred man, the man who's William Afton. I'm just gonna say that the spirit who's like haunting the hospital, trying to keep the man alive, that's Andrew, and the burned man is William. So Andrew is trying to keep William alive to basically make William suffer, and he's doing this through nightmares. The two entities fighting for control of William's brain, that is William's consciousness, and then Andrew trying to fight for control, Andrew torturing William Afton in a kind of dream state. And how here the story progresses through the priest trying to help William, not knowing that it's William, obviously, thinking that like it's a good person. So the priest tries communicating with William, telling him if he has any final wishes or anything, and William eventually, through like a little while, William eventually communicates by like waving his finger in the air. He spells out, by waving his finger in the air, he spells out Fazbear Distribution Center, or I think it was like Fazbear Dis Center, like Fazbear Distribution Center. That's where he wants to go. And so the priest takes William to the Fazbear Distribution Center, where William's body flippin' explodes. His body flippin' explodes, and there's like footprints leading away from him, being Andrew, and William basically infects multiple items of Fazbear Entertainment thingies, and including part of Andrew, and Andrew, I believe, goes on to possess Fetch. So yeah, general gist of it is after Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, after William Afton is burnt to a crisp, he's sent to a hospital, and there's a spirit who's tormenting him in his dreams. So yeah, that's the main stuff. That's the main stuff we're gonna focus on, because a lot of people believe that this is what UCN is. It's just a big dream sequence that William is kind of stuck in, being made by Andrew. Now, so let's talk about the nightmares. So, the nightmares that William has, they're never described. They're never really talked about. It's just that William has two, I don't really know what to call it, two seemingly like warring signals in his brain, being himself and something else. That something else being Andrew. And that's really it. That's all the nightmares are described as. There is instances of like death being mentioned within the story, and William does get scared by that. Or I believe it was specifically hell. William being scared of going to hell. And but yeah. The nightmares are never actually described. A lot of people believe that these nightmares are what UCN is. However, I don't really believe that, specifically just because of there isn't a lot of detail with, there's not a lot of detail with the nightmares, just that he's having nightmares, not what they are. Next thing we're going to talk about is William himself. William, not really a lot to talk about, honestly. We kind of already covered everything with William Like it takes place after Pizzeria Simulator. Bro is burnt, charred to a crisp, and kind of fighting for control of his mind, along with Andrew. And I mean that's kind of basically it. Next we're going to talk about is the symbolism within the story. So basically, throughout the story, there's a lot of symbolism of hell, mainly with like, sorry, like the hospital is called Hercules Hospital. I believe there was some kind of there's some kind of statues in the front where it was some kind of like I believe it was a statue representing a creature from Greek mythology that guards the gates of hell. But like general gist of it, there's a lot of hell symbolism within this story, including William obviously being scared once the word hell is mentioned. So there is a lot of that, and yeah. So like obviously, I'm not gonna deny that there aren't like obvious hell symbolisms. That's a very prominent thing. Okay, so but yeah, that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about for now about the man in room 1280. Next is Ultimate Custom Night. So Ultimate Custom Night, kind of this. It's kind of hard to describe because there's really only an extent to what we know about Ultimate Custom Night canonically. Like, it is theorized that it is another indie game, just like FNAF 1 through 6. It's an indie game in universe based on real events. However, we don't really know if UCN could even be based on actual events, or if it is in itself the actual event and it's not a game. Because I don't know. But anyways, like it could definitely symbolize it. But story and gameplay, William is trapped in this weird let's call it a purgatory state, where he's just kind of stuck in this weird purgatory state. He's stuck in a building with a bunch of animatronics from his past, and they're all beating the absolute crap out of him. Ah! Sorry. But yeah, and I'm not saying purgatory state as in like it's canonically it canonically is purgatory, because like that's like the whole point of this thing. It's like it's just a theory, but like I'm just gonna say purgatory state as in like he's stuck here. That's it. That's all I mean by purgatory. Bob. Oh, Bob. I'm sorry. You got hidden because you were being, for the Undertale stream, you were being a little bit too silly for the chat. A little too silly in a not silly kind of way. So I apologize for that. But yeah, mods, you can unhide Bob if you'd like. If I don't really know how to do that, but like yeah, just Bob, we can unhide you. Just please don't say anything odd anymore. Just please just stay respectful in the chat. I would very much appreciate that. Anyways, let's keep going. So yeah, story and gameplay of Ultimate Custom Night. William is stuck in this quote-unquote purgatory-esque realm where he's facing off a bunch of animatronics and threats from his past, kind of just getting revenge at him. And I keep losing my train of thought. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's basically. And if he wins the night, it just restarts. That's the general gist of the gameplay. Next is voice lines throughout the game. There's multiple voice lines that kind of insinuate on what Ultimate Custom Night is. A lot of them do talk about like fire and death and hell, all that stuff. So a lot of hell symbolism, and some of them also appear to be a little more conscious of what's going on. For instance, Withered Bonnie, one of his lines is, "What is this new prison? Is it me trapped, or is it you, or perhaps it's us both?" So a couple of these characters do seem to be conscious and aware and questioning of what's going on. There's also the puppet who speaks in Charlotte's voice. Not even like puppet voice, it's just Charlotte's straight up voice. It's her spirit, fully conscious, fully aware of what's going on. She even says, "I am very aware." Like, that's literally one of her quotes. But yeah, so there's that. Next is the characters themselves. There's again a lot of characters that are very, very, very weird, I should say. Some of them, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe this one. I don't know. I should have done better with my notes, honestly. I should have been a lot better with my notes. I just put some notes in here, thinking I would remember what they mean. I think I'm doing all right with them. I don't know. But anyways, characters in Ultimate Custom Night, a lot of them seem to be aware of, what's going on. Some of them questioning what's going on, some of them not questioning, some of them being aware of what's going on, some of them not being aware of what's going on. It's a very mixed bag of like characters' consciousness and their relevance. It's all very kind of mixed. Next one we'll talk about is Old Man Consequences. So Old Man Consequences, very, very strange character. Very strange character, honestly. So Old Man Consequences appeared in FNAF World at first. And basically just what he was this weird thing you would come across if you went too far into the little like glitchy zones within FNAF World. And if you went into the Red Lake where Old Man Consequences fishes, your game would kind of crash, and you would have the chance of seeing a rare screen where it was seemingly three figures in front of a TV. Now, I've theorized that this is a happiest day for the crying child. And so yeah. And so he again returns in Ultimate Custom Night. He returns in Ultimate Custom Night, and when you visit him, he says, come and sit a while, rest your own soul, leave the demon to his demons," talking about William and how he's facing his own demons. And so yeah, he basically invites whoever is seemingly controlling UCN to sit with him and rest their soul. However, instead the soul goes into the Red Lake, and I forget what exactly happens. Either you go back into the main menu where the character roster is, or your game just crashes. I kind of forget. But yeah, Old Man Consequences. So along with Old Man Consequences being here, which is already kind of odd, there's also multiple other FNAF World characters. I believe there's Tangle, White Rabbit, and the Bounce Pot from FNAF World that can occasionally appear on the desk in Ultimate Custom Night. So very, very strange ties. Very strange ties to FNAF World. Next. Next is the one that you should not have killed. This is a character that is referenced multiple times within UCN by multiple characters. I believe it is Mangle, Withered Chica, Jacko Chica, a few other characters. The characters that mention it don't matter per se, but they do mention it quite a lot. Or the one you should not have killed is mentioned quite a lot. Now, this character is basically alluded to being the one who is kind of in charge of Ultimate Custom Night, the reason why William is here, the one getting revenge on William and making him suffer the way that the spirits he killed suffer, but tenfold. So yeah, basically vengeful, very vengeful, angry child. That's the one you should not have killed. Next we're going to talk about is Golden Freddy. So Golden Freddy is another character who appears in UCN. However, they're also very weird. So there's Withered Golden Freddy, who is a customizable character, just like they were in FNAF 2 with that custom night. And then there's the FNAF 1 Golden Freddy, who only appears in a ending cutscene, which is Golden Freddy twitching very rapidly, similar to how Springtrap did in the FNAF 3 trailer. So it's the cutscene goes Golden Freddy twitching very rapidly and descending into darkness. And yeah. And then another weird thing with Golden Freddy is that for Withered Golden Freddy, if you have the Death Coin and you use it on Withered Golden Freddy, it turns into Fredbear and jump scares you. So already, very weird stuff going on with Golden Freddy. Next. Oh, also the character sprite that appears in Old Man Consequences, the Lake with Old Man Consequence, it is a bear sprite. So many people do think that is Golden Freddy because of that. Next one is Other Spirits. So this is something we kind of already talked about. Other spirits seemingly being conscious of UCN and aware of what it is, or aware that they are there. For instance, multiple characters talking about the one you should not have killed, seemingly like it is a completely separate entity from themselves. Withered Bonnie questioning where he is and where we are. Puppet just fully being aware, talking to the others, or mentioning others as in there are multiple other spirits, being like the others are like animals, but I'm very aware. She mentions others like there are multiple other spirits in this, in the thing that they are in. And I believe there's a couple more. I could be wrong though. But yeah, that is a lot of characters. There's whoever mentions the one you should not have killed, Withered Bonnie, and then the puppet. Oh, there's also another thing that Withered Chica has, which, you know, she's both a character that seems aware of herself as well as the one you should not have killed, because she also mentions that she was the first. She has seen everything. That was one of her lines, I was the first, I have seen everything. So she does seem aware of who she is, what role she plays, and kind of where she is. Just a little bit, or like who we are. But yeah, another instance of a character seemingly being fully conscious and aware. Let me read the chat real quick. Is this supposed to be a theory? Not really. This is kind of more so talking about theories, talking about UCN in general. Yeah, this is kind of just a stream talking about UCN in general and my thoughts on UCN, as well as Man in Room 1280, because I'm very annoying about UCN. I'm incredibly annoying about UCN. I'm very normal and annoying about UCN. I'm incredibly normal. I'm normal about UCN. I'm very normal about UCN. Anyways, next one. Next topic we have Andrew and Cassidy. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite thing. Andrew and Cassidy. Is it showing up? Why isn't it showing up? There we go. Andrew and Cassidy. Yay, Andrew and Cassidy. Anyways, Andrew and Cassidy. So first, let's talk about the personalities of these characters. So, Andrew, let's talk about mainly Andrew during the time of the Man in Room 1280. Andrew in the Man in Room 1280, a very spiteful character, full of rage, full of disdain, full of vengeance, especially directed at William, and is willing to lash out at kind of anyone who comes across him. He does this later on in... Sorry. Bleh. He does this later on in instances with Jake as they possess the Stitch Wraith in the Frights epilogues. Basically, Andrew just lashes out at almost anyone who comes across him or tries to interfere with what he's doing. He's a very angry, very revenge-filled spirit. And, yeah. So there's that. And he's clearly trying to take revenge on William Afton for killing him. William Afton did kill Andrew, but I don't believe I don't believe how he was killed or like the circumstances. I don't believe those were ever revealed. Those are still a mystery. Now Cassidy is another spirit who has been shown to be vengeful towards William. However, their main thing isn't revenge. That's more so Andrew's main thing. However, he does develop as a character later on in the Frights epilogues. Andrew's main thing during the Man in Room 1280 is he's very, very filled with revenge. Meanwhile, Cassidy, she is very vengeful. However, she is slightly more aware of what's going on than the other spirits. I would say I would say Cassidy is more in between, like from an awareness standpoint. I would say that they're more in between the other MCI spirits and Puppet, where Charlotte is like fully aware of what's going on. The MCI are kind of in this weird zone of not knowing anything that's going on, and like misremembering stuff, their memory being manipulated. I think this is best shown in the FNAF movie, where the MCI children kind of forget who William is and why he's bad. Meanwhile, Cassidy, or I won't say Cassidy because we don't know who Cassidy is. I misspoke again. We don't know who the Golden Freddy kid is for the movie, but in general, the Golden Freddy kid in the movie seems more aware than the other children. However, not fully. For instance, like he draws the rabbit in the dirt in one of the scenes, and then he very, very maliciously looks at William while he's like dying in the back room, or like quote unquote dying. But obviously there's that connection they have, and I'll be honest, the Golden Freddy kid in the movie is a lot more vengeful than Cassidy in the games, seemingly, because we don't really know a lot about Cassidy in the games. But I wouldn't say that the Golden Freddy kid in the movie is exactly like Cassidy or exactly like Andrew. They're kind of in the middle, I would say. But yeah. But anyways, uh, Cassidy in the games, main Golden Freddy kid Cassidy. They are, while they are vengeful towards William, they're also kind to other spirits. For instance, in the logbook, Cassidy is shown seemingly helping the crying child by um, asking them questions, trying to help them out, and we might be seeing a similar thing in FNAF World, where something is kind of guiding what seems to be the crying child through FNAF World, eventually leading him to his happiest day, and setting up the main FNAF 3 happiest day. And I think it could either be Cassidy or Charlotte, but either way, they seem to be having a similar role. I think it could be Cassidy simply because of what we see in the logbook. But either way, Cassidy is very vengeful towards William, but also not really spiteful towards other people, similar to how Andrew is. Andrew is like Andrew is more angry towards everyone, while Cassidy is kind of just angry mainly towards William. But yeah. So sorry. Yeah. Golden Freddy. Next topic is Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy. Let me take a second and think. So, I do believe that Golden Freddy is Cassidy. I don't think it's Andrew, simply because of Andrew is never really described to be. There's not enough evidence. I don't think there's enough evidence to say that Andrew has been depicted as Golden Freddy, because he's had the alligator mask, which we still don't really know what that's all about, and there is him possessing Fetch after the man in room 1280. The only real thing we have to Andrew possessing Golden Freddy is that in the story The New Kid, there is black curly hair in the Golden Freddy animatronic. And that's the hair that Andrew has. But that's really it. Just black curly hair. And when it comes to Game Cassidy, we don't really know what Game Cassidy looks like. There is a good guess to what they look like, with the logbook showing a girl with black hair and pigtails. The image seemingly recreating the happiest day scene from FNAF 3. And so we don't really know what Cassidy actually looks like. So she could very well have black hair, black curly hair. So there's that. Also, there's the fact that the New Kid doesn't really connect to Stitchline. So basically, the whole thing is that Stitchline is the Fazbear Frights books where the Fazbear Frights stories that all connect to the epilogue. Some of them do connect to the epilogue, and some of them don't. And the main belief is that Stitchline is what's canon and in the same continuity as the games, which is what I believe. And there's not really a lot connecting the New Kid to the Stitchline. So, that's another thing. So the only thing connecting Andrew to Golden Freddy is black hair, black curly hair. That's literally it. So I don't really think that Andrew is Golden Freddy, even though they do have similar roles and motivations. They are similar to certain extents. However, it's also kind of just the thing of, like, it's a child who was killed by William. I think, like, it's just it's another vengeful spirit. Like, all of these spirits are, of course, vengeful towards William. I don't think any spirit who is vengeful is Golden Freddy. Anyways, Mike Brooks and the Movie Kid. So the thing about Golden Freddy is throughout the multiple continuities, they have had different roles. Within the Silver Eyes, Golden Freddy has definitely been a more, I wouldn't really say main character, but a much more defined character. Like Mike Brooks has a whole entire backstory. We know a lot about Mike Brooks, and they seem to be a very active character. For instance, they're the one who kind of they seem to be the only one that's aware of what's going on in the afterlife. For instance, they're the one who puts the picture back together of like William being evil, the Yellow Rabbit being evil, and they're the one who kind of sets all of the spirits free, along with the help of Carlton. And yeah, they're really the only one who's aware of what's going on, and the only one kind of able to do anything about it. So while they do while they do have very many differences when it comes to game Golden Freddy, they do still have that same level of awareness where they're like they're more aware than the MCI spirits, but not fully, not like completely and fully aware. It's very similar with movie Golden Freddy as well, where they are acutely aware of what's going on. They're very acutely aware of what's going on, but also movie Golden Freddy is far more vengeful than Mike Brooks. Mike Brooks is much more passive, I would say. Like, they don't directly interfere with William in the Silver Eyes, but they do seem still kind of angry at him, but they don't really affect him that much. And I guess that is kind of the same with the movie Golden Freddy 2. However, they are definitely like shown to be more vengeful. Meanwhile, Mike Brooks is kind of just like, he's kind of just there. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. But even then, the movie Golden Freddy Kid, Mike Brooks, and Cassidy, they all have very similar roles. They're all somewhat aware of what's going on, have a certain disdain for William, and would enjoy helping the fellow spirits that they're also trapped with. Mike Brooks, Cassidy, and the movie Golden Freddy Kid, they all seem to be friends with the other MCI victims as well. So yeah, there's that. Next thing. Oh, well, the next thing I was gonna mention was stories, but we kind of already went through that. We kind of already went through all the stories. We'll hit Mike Brooks, and the movie kid, and Cassidy, and Andrew. I mean, for Cassidy, in the games, Cassidy is much more of a just another MCI kid. We don't really know much about Cassidy when it comes to the games. However, they might possibly have been the final MCI victim, and there is the possibility that Cassidy helped the crying child get to his happiest day, as well as make the happiest day in FNAF 3 from FNAF World, all that FNAF World stuff. And there's of course seemingly Cassidy being the one to kind of chase William into the Springlock suit. What else? That's kind of mainly it. That's mainly it. Of course, there's all the weird Golden Freddy stuff in UCN. But again, you know, we'll get to that later. Um, so yeah, so Cassidy very prominently has more connections, I would say, to Golden Freddy because of course there's like all of the logbook stuff. Oh yeah, the logbook is kind of another whole big thing with Cassidy. Um, but yeah, the whole thing with finding Cassidy's name in the logbook, along with like strands of "It's me," as well as the whole entire point of the logbook was to find what the name from the hidden grave in Pizzeria Simulator. Like that was the whole point of the logbook, was to see like, oh, what's the name of Golden Freddy, and then it was revealed to be Cassidy. So yeah, there's all that. So if it wasn't clear, if it wasn't clear enough, I believe that Cassidy is Golden Freddy. I don't believe in any like two spirits in Golden Freddy or anything like that. I think it's just Cassidy inside Golden Freddy, and then Andrew is his old his it's his he's his bleh, ah he's his own separate thing. I keep stumbling over my words. I'm gonna get some water real quick because I'm parched. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Foxy Grid. No, we don't talk about Foxy Grid. We don't talk about Foxy Grid, Null. I already showed you that video where Foxy Grid makes no sense. Foxy Grid makes no sense. At least not yet. The Evan thing doesn't even work. They didn't even get it right. They had one method for finding like the first three letters, and then that method stopped working. And for some reason they just like added in the N for Evan. The method didn't even work. They didn't even get it right. They had to do two entirely separate methods. That's not how that works. The Cassidy thing worked. There's a whole thing with the fourth closet Cassidy, and then the Cassidy screenplay, and that one thing with the kazoo that we don't talk about. Cassidy worked, but Evan didn't. Bro's name is Garrett. I hate the Foxy Grid. I hate the Foxy Grid. Being completely honest though, I don't really think I don't think the Foxy Grid has any alternate thing. I think it was either supposed to be a hint towards the word search, or it was just supposed to be another thing to find the name of Cassidy. I don't know. Not yet. One day the Foxy Grid will be solved. Trust me, it's got Cawthon's plan. No, you're being insane. There is no answer to the Foxy Grid. Not yet. There is no answer. There's no answer to the Foxy Grid, no. You're being insane. There is no Foxy Grid. There's never been a Foxy Grid. You're insane. What are you talking about? Anyways, where was I? I don't know. Let's go to the next thing. Next thing is more Golden Freddy. Yay, I love Golden Freddy. Yay, I love Golden Freddy. Yay, I love Golden Freddy. I love Golden Freddy. Yay, I love Golden Freddy. Anyways, I feel like I've already kind of already gone through all the Golden Freddy stuff. The Golden Freddy spirit being slightly more aware of like what's going on, stuff with William, and like wanting to help the other spirits within or not within the other spirits from the missing children's incident. That seems to be like the main thing that's like common with all iterations of Golden Freddy. They hate William, they help the other spirits, and what else? There's another thing, wasn't there? Am I missing? Did I forget? I think I forgot. Whatever. They have like some weird rivalry. Blah. Blah. Weird rivalry with William. Can't talk today. Goodness. But yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Golden Freddy in general is just slightly more aware than the other spirits, and also helps those spirits. Not as aware or not as helpful as Charlotte, but they do have a very similar. They are very similar characters, but I wouldn't say exact. Because Golden Freddy is definitely more aggressive than like while they are helpful to the other spirits, they're definitely far more aggressive than the other spirits. And that's probably a product of being slightly more aware. Next thing, more spirits, yay, more spirits, yay, and that was kind of it. That was kind of it. We already talked about the multiple spirits showing up in UCN. So yeah. So now that I've kind of explained my thought process and my view on the story and the game, like the story of Man in Room 1280, the game of UCN, Cassidy and Andrew and stuff like that. You know what time it is. Timelines, yay! I love timelines, yay, yay, yay. So yeah. Basically, the current main theory that I've seen most people talk about is that Andrew is the one that you should not have killed. That's in Ultimate Custom Night, kind of the one who's running the show in Ultimate Custom Night, and Cassidy or Golden Freddy was part of this, but left. And UCN is a dream within. Or the dream that William has within the Man in Room 1280. And I don't believe this mainly because of the stuff we've kind of already mentioned before, like the multiple spirits showing up in UCN, with multiple of them seemingly being very aware of what's going on. Meanwhile, there's also the thing with in the story, the nurses only say there's like 2 separate brainwaves, and that's it. There's only 2 of them, being William and then Andrew's. Meanwhile, Golden Freddy is definitely there. Like that's not a question. And then there's seemingly more spirits being aware. Like at the very very least, aside from Andrew and Golden Freddy being in UCN, there is definitely like Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, and the puppet. Those ones are like I wouldn't be opposed to saying that most other characters are definitely like not aware. Like I don't think like most of them. I will say that most of them do seem to be controlled by the one you should not have killed. However, a lot of them still seem to have these like separate consciousnesses, like literally with the puppet saying that they are very aware. Like the others are like animals, but I am very aware. I'm not afraid of you anymore. And yada yada yada. Like all of that. And I did mention last week in the or I was talking about UCN a little bit in the Into the Pit stream last week. And I forget who it was, but someone did mention of like what if Andrew was in William's mind, then like what's stopping him from learning about William's past, learning about all of these kids, learning about all of that stuff. But like again, it doesn't really answer, like if all of this is just Andrew controlling all of this, that wouldn't really answer the stuff with like Puppet obviously having a separate consciousness. Withered Bonnie asking where he is. Like, I could buy the stuff with like Withered Chica being like, "Oh, I was the first. I have seen everything." Like that would be very easy to just be like, "Hey, dangles Withered Chica in front of you. Remember this?" But like for specifically Withered Bonnie and the puppet, I feel like that would be kind of like a little harder to explain by just like, "Oh yeah, it's Andrew doing silly memory stuff." Which, like, yeah, I could see Andrew doing silly memory stuff, because Jake also does silly memory stuff, where Jake like causes happiest days to happen by isolating a happy memory and then kind of making it more prominent in someone's mind, and that's how happiest day kind of happens. But with Andrew, like, I don't know, like, I guess it could be like the memory. I guess it could be like the memory becoming aware, similar to how similar to the FNAF movie, where like Mike's memory of Garrett and his mom and dad, they kind of become slightly aware, but they are obviously being controlled by the Golden Freddy kid. So like I could see something like that happening with Andrew. But then again, like, I don't know. Like, it does feel like it's separate characters, separate consciousnesses. And then there's the whole thing with like old man consequences within UCN. Like, there's just a lot of pieces being like, is this actually just a dream? Because it feels a little bit silly. It feels a tiny bit silly. Because like there would be a lot of unexplained things if it was simply just a dream created by Andrew, rather than like William Afton's personalized purgatory, or William's personalized hell. Because whenever I say purgatory, some people are like, "Oh, does that mean he's gonna go to heaven after?" No, I just mean purgatory as in like a weird stasis type thing. Anyways, so like, there's the whole stuff with like Golden Freddy and Andrew. Would like those two are definite givens. However, in the Man in Room 1280, there's only two brainwaves. There's only William and Andrew fighting for control. And so the theory basically goes that, oh yeah, UCN, it's a thing, it's a nightmare in William's head created by Andrew, and Cassidy just left. That's it. Cassidy just left, just dipped out of there. And the main evidence for that is the cutscene with Golden Freddy in UCN, where they're twitching very angrily and fading into darkness with their pupils still lit. And that's apparently them accepting and moving on. To me, I don't know about that. Because like, if I was wiggling angrily into darkness, I don't think that would be me accepting something. I don't know if me wiggling angrily into darkness is the look of exception. Cause like that's the same thing that William does in the FNAF 3 trailer. He's like wiggling very angrily, very rapidly. I don't think bro is moving on then. Bro is clearly pissed off. And Golden Freddy does the same thing in the cutscenes. Like, those are not acceptance wiggles. Those are definitely not acceptance wiggles. If anything, that's just like, that's aggravated wiggles. That's stubborn wiggles. Those are wiggles of, yeah, I'm never leaving. I'm descending into darkness. I'm gonna be here in the shadows all the time. But yeah. Also, there's... Well, I don't know. I was gonna say something, but it's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid. Just a little bit. Like, I was gonna say that there's no actual timeline to UCN. Like, everything could just happen in different orders. But I don't know. That's not really a point to anything. That's not really a point to anything. But yeah, so my main gripes with UCN being a dream within the Man in Room 1280, it's really just like a ton of things from UCN kind of just go unexplained. Old Man Consequences, completely unexplained. No reason to why he's here. Golden Freddy. Oh yeah, they just left. When? I don't know. They just left at some point. The multiple consciousnesses, just, I don't know, created by Andrew, apparently. Maybe, I don't know. Like there's just a lot of stuff that would have to be like unanswered. I don't know. Just things just a lot of just unanswered things. If it were a dream in the Man in Room 1280. So like the thing that I believe that Ultimate Custom Night is a personalized hell for William, where all of his bad actions, bad memories, or not quote unquote bad memories, the memories of bad things that he's done, they're all coming back to haunt him, and the main person tormenting him is Golden Freddy, due to their and that's prominent because of Golden Freddy's prominence within the game, especially like with the angry wiggles that Golden Freddy does. But yeah, that's the main thing that I think, and I think it would explain a lot more. Like, you know, if it is a personalized afterlife for William, that would explain how like there's multiple consciousnesses there. That would explain the use that would explain the Old Man Consequences, why he's here, because like FNAF World does seem to be a afterlife-esque scenario, kind of very similar to some kind of afterlife, especially with the ties to Happiest Day or multiple Happiest Days. But if UCN was just a dream that William could easily wake up from too. Like the thing with the Man in Room 1280, William could just easily wake up from the dreams, from the nightmares. Like the only way the story actually progresses is that William is fully conscious. He can like see and everything. I think he can at least hear. He's fully conscious. He can move around a little bit. Like he's fully spells out Fazbear Distribution Center, so the priest can take him to the Fazbear Distribution Center. Like William is fully aware. He can wake up at any time. He's not really trapped. Meanwhile, UCN is all about like, oh yeah, William is trapped. He is completely screwed. There is no getting out of here. Like the soul even says like, I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest. But the moment they arrive at the Fazbear Entertainment Distribution Center, the spirit inside him just explodes. William just explodes because the spirit inside him just like made him explode or something. Like I don't know. It just doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit well. There's a lot of like you know, if it was a dream, if UCN was a dream, how would Old Man Consequences fit in there? How would Golden Freddy fit in there? How would the seemingly multiple consciousnesses from other characters fit in? How come Andrew would just let William like stay alive, I guess? Because like Andrew doesn't do anything. I don't think Andrew does anything to prevent William from leaving the hospital. Like I will admit Andrew is definitely full of revenge, but they're more full of spite. They don't really want William to actually like face his consequences, I guess. They more so just want William to suffer while he is still fully able to keep doing bad things. but yeah, that's the main reason. I just feel like Andrew doesn't really fit with UCN. Like, of course, it is a vengeful spirit, but like, I feel like all of these spirits would want revenge towards William. And I think like the multiple spirit angle of UCN, that would work pretty well. It's multiple spirits getting back at William. But for Andrew specifically, him being not only the only one in UCN, but like the creator of it, as well as the vengeful spirit who's talking, I don't really think it fits that well. I really don't think it fits that well. Just because like Andrew just lets him go. Andrew kind of just lets him go. Meanwhile, in UCN, there's a strong emphasis on William being trapped in there for eternity. Like whenever you beat a knight, everything just restarts. There is no actual ending to UCN. Everything just restarts, no matter how well you do, no matter what you do. Everything just keeps restarting and restarting. There's no actual end. Like even with the what some people would say as the ending cutscene, with Golden Freddy twitching and wiggling angrily into the darkness, it's still not an ending. The game just keeps going. And I think it's kind of weird that people say, oh yeah, Cassidy is the one who leaves. Meanwhile, Andrew is shown to leave. Like, all Cassidy is shown to do is just still actively be inside Golden Freddy in UCN. Like, that whole cutscene where Golden Freddy is, like, twitching angrily into the darkness, I really don't see how that could be seen as, a spirit accepting and moving on. Like, it seems like the opposite to me, if anything. I feel like I'm kind of just repeating myself now. But yeah, that's the main thing. I feel like it just doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit Andrew that well. However, counterpoints to my own theory, there is, of course, like, if there are multiple consciousnesses within UCN, then, like, a lot of them seem to be kind of confused, or at least, like, some of them seem to be confused. Like Withered Bonnie, questioning if it's another prison for himself. Like, it doesn't really seem like he wants to be there, but he's there anyway. But, like, still, I don't know. Like, personally, I just believe that, UCN is a full-on kind of just personalized afterlife for William. And let me get to the actual timeline now, since I was kind of skipping out on that just a little bit. So here's how I think the timeline would probably go. I think it would probably be something like Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator happens, and then The Man in Room 1280 happens, where Andrew, the stuff with Andrew happens. And I don't think the nightmares are UCN. I think it's just another form. I think it's just a form of torture that Andrew is putting onto William. I think it's possible that Andrew could be the kid from Midnight Motorist, possibly kidnapped by William. And this is big speculation, by the way, but like Andrew possibly kidnapped by William and put into the nightmare chamber from Dittophobia. I think he could be one of those kids, and he probably got the worst of it and then died, and then ended up tormenting William, and then kind of got back at William with through nightmares, through like suscepting William to the nightmares that William subcepted Andrew to. Am I using that word right? Subcepted? Am I using that right? I don't know. But basically, the mini speculation that I have is Andrew was a kid that was kidnapped by William, put into the nightmare chamber, eventually died, and then went on to torment William by putting William through the same quote-unquote nightmares that Andrew had within the Nightmare Chamber. Because like obviously the whole Nightmare Chamber is set up so like the experiments are viewed as nightmares from the kid. But yeah, I think that could be possible. I think that would be neat, but I don't know. This is just a bit of speculation. It's just a bit of speculation. Anyways, so Pizzeria Simulator, and then Man in Room 1280, and then yada yada yada, go down the line, and you know, within the epilogues, the Afton amalgamation happens, where Afton, you know, after Afton exploded in the in the Fazbear Distribution Center, he ended up corrupting and kind of possessing, quote unquote possessing, multiple different items, and eventually most of those, I think all of those items, kind of were built into this weird Afton amalgamation thing, where and then eventually the detective from, or I'm skipping ahead of myself. The items that William, quote unquote, possessed at the Fazbear Entertainment Distribution Center, after a while they were, I believe it was a dump. It was some kind of either a little factory or a dump or something. They all ended up in that one place, and William ended up kind of like becoming this giant amalgamation thing. Eventually, the Stitch Wraith and I forget his name. I'm just gonna say like the detective or something. I don't know what his actual, I forget what his actual name is. But the little detective guy, that one of the main characters we've been following throughout the epilogues, he has the mask of the puppet. And the Afton amalgamation, after like, you know, standing on a dock, the detective puts the puppet mask onto the Afton amalgamation. Afton starts like dying basically, and then he's pushed into the lake. He's pushed into the lake that's near the place that he was. He was standing on a dock because he's dumb. And then he was pushed into a lake, and then he dies. And that's kind of when I think UCN happens, when he's literally like his literal final resting place is that he's compiled of all of the items that he like trapped other, he's now trapped in the items that the others were trapped in. Larson Slander, that's what his name was. It was Larson, Detective Larson. Okay, I don't know why I was getting confused with the police officer from the Silver Eyes. I think it was like Clay Brook or something, I don't know. Detective Larson, okay. I will never slander Larson. I like Larson. He's cool. But yeah, that's kind of when I think UCN happens, is when William dies as the Afton amalgamation. Like, I feel like it would make sense, too. Because, like, you know, he's possessing all of these items. All of these, it's kind of like a big Springlock suit, if you think about it. Also, the puppet literally grows out of the puppet mask, then erupts into William, not Larson pushing him in. I thought it was Larson. What? I thought it was Larson pushing him with a forklift or something. Null, I can't tell if you're joking with me or not. I forget. I thought it was him being pushed into the lake with a forklift. I don't know. Either way, dude, giant amalgamation dude falls into lake. Giant amalgamation dude falls into lake. That is my main point. And I think that's when UCN happens. When William Afton is possessing all of these things that represent all of the other characters, all of the other characters that he has used to torment other people, characters that like are possessed by like the MCI kids, or represent the MCI kids. It's an amalgamation of basically just what represents everything wrong that William has done. and then he dies inside of it. And I think, and that's kind of what UCN is. It's a quote unquote purgatory where William is being is kind of trapped with all of these characters from his past. Just like a big amalgamation of characters, and that's kind of what UCN is. It's like this big amalgamation of characters, and that's what William dies in. And I think that would be like a good place to put UCN, because they kind of parallel each other in like, I don't know how exactly they parallel each other, but I feel like they parallel each other in some kind of way, in some kind of like a narrative standpoint almost. But yeah, that's kind of how I see UCN going. And Cassidy being like the one who's kind of like orchestrating all of it, like other spirits being there as well. Cassidy being the one that you should not have killed. Cassidy being the main one to orchestrate everything. Maybe Andrew is there. I don't know. But also another thing I kind of wanted to talk about just for a little bit. With the FNAF 3 Happiest Day, although I do kind of still think it could happen after FNAF 3, but even then, if it does happen later, we do see the kid with a crocodile mask. And if that kid with or crocodile or alligator mask, if that kid with the green mask, if that is Andrew, then that would show Andrew being the one to move on before Cassidy. So I don't know. Again, like that little part, that's like huge speculation, but still, something to look back on. Ha ha! I'm so funny. Something to look back on. Anyways, I mean, we kind of already did our looking back. I think I've kind of talked about all of my points, at least as much as I needed to. I don't know. Anyways. Let's get into the conclusion. A big conclusion. The thing it's all led up to. The thing is... Oh, wait. What'd you say? No, Larson attempts to push him with the forklift, but fails. Puppet Mask them goes bring me to him, and then Deadass Puppet body somehow rushes into the... Same thing. Bro is pushed into the lake. That's what I meant anyway. We don't need to get into the specifics. Bro is just pushed into the lake. Anyways, conclusion time. Yay, conclusion time. The thing is, it's all been leading up to this. Conclusion time. Yay, conclusion time. I love conclusion time. Yay, conclusion. And conclusion is, I don't know. IDK. If I'm being completely honest, I could see either thing happening. Like, I want to tell a little story real quick. So, a while ago, there was a theory that FNAF 4's main gameplay was all just one big hallucination, and it was a testing chamber. It was a testing facility, with the Funtime animatronics using illusion discs to become the Nightmare animatronics. And I didn't believe that. I didn't like the theory, because at the time, this was way before Dittophobia came out. At the time, I didn't believe there was enough evidence to show, like, oh yeah, this is what happening. I didn't believe that that's what was happening, because there just wasn't really enough evidence at the time. However, when Dittophobia came out, I was all for it, honestly. It was a very cool story. It presented an answer in a very interesting way, and honestly, I just came to very much enjoy the concept of the FNAF 4 main gameplay being a testing facility, and rather than it being specifically the story of the crying child, it was more so the story of that facility in general. And it had the ability to show the perspective of multiple characters, and it gave a lot of answers. It gave the answer to why both Mike and the crying child, how they would both know what the nightmare animatronics look like, because there's of course the official art of I think there's multiple instances of official art with the crying child like facing off against the nightmare animatronics. There's it gives an answer to that. It gives an answer to how the crying child would know what the nightmare animatronics would look like. It gives an answer to how Mike would know what they look like. It would give an answer to, or it gives an answer to why, to how the nightmare animatronics are in Help Wanted or FNAF AR, because if Fazbear Entertainment went down into the sister location bunker and then found the testing facility, they might have got a whiff of the nightmare gas and then started seeing the nightmare animatronics. And so Dittophobia, it's not only an amazing story, but it gives a solid answer to all of these questions in one story. And that's why I like Dittophobia so much, but also didn't like the illusion disc with the Funtime theory, because at the time, there wasn't because that specific theory, it didn't really make sense. There's not a lot to say that was the case. However, with Dittophobia, this is obviously showing that it was the case. And I ended up really liking Dittophobia and what it brought forth. And, I used to think that FNAF 4 was just a dream. Just with the crying child. And, there wasn't really an answer to why Fazbear Entertainment would know what the nightmare animatronics look like, or to why Mike would know what they look like. But with Dittophobia, that entirely changed, and all of those questions were answered. And I think it did it really good. But my main point is that with UCN, the main reason why I don't believe Andrew is the one you should not have killed, or just possibly in UCN at all, is because I don't think there's enough to say that this is the case. Because all the man in room 1280 presents is that Andrew is giving William nightmares, and that's it. That's really all it presents. And UCN presents there's this very vengeful spirit. There's a collection of vengeful spirits tormenting William, never letting him escape this endless loop of suffering that he basically just inflicted on himself. He's finally facing his consequences, and that doesn't really fit with the man in room 1280. At least not how I see it. Simply just because Andrew doesn't keep William asleep. William can wake up whenever he wants. Andrew doesn't keep him in the hospital. William ends up leaving and then causing more trouble. However, but that's just what I believe. And however, if a story came out, or if the Into the Pit game ended up kind of expanding upon Andrew and UCN and gave a good conclusion and a good reason to Andrew being the one you should not have killed, and all of that stuff being correct with me being wrong, I would be completely fine with that. It's not just me coping or something. It's not just me coping or anything. I'm completely fine with my theories being wrong. Half of my videos on my YouTube channel, they're just completely wrong. Most of them are just completely wrong. I was close with a few, but a lot of them were just womp womp. They were not correct. So I'm completely okay with not being correct. I wasn't correct with Dittophobia. I wasn't correct with Fazbear Frights being a separate continuity. I wasn't right with Patient 46 just representing Vanny and it ended up actually being Gregory. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't correct about. So if I end up being incorrect about UCN and it actually is Andrew, like, I'd be fine with that. Like, I'd be completely fine with that. It's just currently that I don't think there's enough to concretely say that Andrew is the one you should not have killed, or Andrew is the one in charge of UCN, and yada yada yada. Plus, on a narrative standpoint, I think Golden Freddy being the one to ultimately get back, haha, funny. I think Golden Freddy being the one to ultimately get back at William, I think that works best on a narrative standpoint. But that's basically it. Like, I think Cassidy is the one that you should not have killed, and Golden Freddy is the one in charge of UCN, and it's all just this big kind of personalized afterlife for William to make him suffer. However, if I'm wrong about that, which I could definitely be, because there is a lot of, like, I will give credit where credit is due. There is a lot of things pointing towards, UCN very well being a dream within a hospital. Like, one of Mr. Hippo's voice lines being, "Oh, is this why am I here? Is this my dream or an afterlife?" There's that. There's all of the hell symbolism in the man in room 1280. I will admit there is a lot to say that the man in room 1280 does represent UCN. It is supposed to be UCN. And if it ends up being the actual case and it's confirmed as that, I might be a little surprised, but I couldn't say that I wasn't expecting it, I guess. But yeah, I kind of just think that, like, either one is possible. Not to say that one is more possible than the other. I just prefer the Cassidy being the vengeful spirit, or whatever. The Cassidy UCN theory rather than Andrew UCN, or whatever it's called. Yeah, that's basically it. Was there a point to this stream? Not really. There's not really a point to this stream, other than just me waffling for like 2 hours. But yeah. Taking a sip of water. Anyways, that was really it. I'm kind of tired now. I'm a little eepy. If anyone has any silly little questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'm just gonna end the stream. Because I think I said all I needed to say. There is one thing, actually, about Andrew and Cassidy. I do see a lot of people say, like, oh, like, Andrew is obviously way more important than Cassidy, or Cassidy is obviously way more important than Andrew. Like, I don't really think either of those is really correct, I guess. I think they're equally important, just in their own ways. Because, like, Andrew has, like, a lot of stuff going on with him in Fazbear Frights. Andrew is incredibly important to Fazbear Frights. And Cassidy is incredibly important to, like, the story of Golden Freddy and the games in general. And, like, they don't really... I don't really know why a lot of people tend to argue about, like, one being more important than the other. Like, I never really got that. Like, why that's a thing that people argue about. Because, like, they both have obviously different stories. They both have obviously, similar motives, but still somewhat different. Very different stories, similar motives, but still somewhat different. Like, they're very different characters, and it's kind of weird to see people just be like, oh, one is more important than the other. Like, no, that's not true at all. Cassidy and the puppet or Cassidy and Charlotte are pretty similar, but, like, they're different enough They're not really like compared like that. I don't know. Like I think Andrew is a great character himself, and I think he kind of strives in he strives in the Fazbear Frights books, and I feel like his character would kind of not really be undermined by UCN if he was the vengeful spirit or the one you should not have killed or whatever. I don't really think his story would be undermined, but I feel like it would be a little strange for his character. Because I feel like UCN doesn't really fit Andrew as well as it could, I guess. But yeah, that's really it. That's really all I wanted to say. Sorry for waffling for like 2 hours. Waffling for so long. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end the stream now. I've basically just gotten out all that I wanted to say. I've waffled long enough. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone thought the PowerPoint I put together was impressive, even though I couldn't really get it all straight. Even though I forgot a lot of the points and didn't really do it the best. Whatever. I'm probably going to set up more PowerPoints for future streams, for future discussion streams. But I don't know, I had fun. I hope a lot of y'all had fun too. Yeah. Anyways. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go take a nap. Have a great day, night, or heat death of the universe, depending on